Hey everyone, happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great start to their work week. I'm so excited to go over this video, which is going to be about the home buying process in North Carolina. Please note that I am a licensed real estate agent in North Carolina only. So if you are buying or selling in a different state, the processes and procedures that I'm about to go over may differ slightly. Also, I have provided a free worksheet going over the steps that we are about to go over. It's in the description below. You should be able to just click that link and download it for free for your use. All right, let's get started. Okay, step number 3, your searches and your showings. This is probably the most exciting part for both the buyer and the agent. And your agent's gonna need to sit down or either schedule a phone call with you to go over exactly what you're looking for in a property. So how many bedrooms, how many baths, how many acres, etc. It's very important that you be as detailed as possible if you are wanting a specific thing within a property, like a pool or a hot tub or a large laundry room, because your agent can input those searches into what is called the MLS. MLS stands for Multiple Listing Service, and there are thousands across the United States. Depending on where you're at, your agent is going to take your search criteria and they're going to input that information into their MLS and come up with a list of properties that they will send to you that you'll look through to see which ones that you want to go see. The MLS that I am in is Carolina Smokies MLS, and it covers Macon County, Jackson County, Swain, Clay, and Cherokee County. So basically the MLS is like a database online, and when a seller goes to list their property, when they hire a listing agent to list their property publicly, they will put that listing on the MLS. And then your third-party sites like Zillow.com, Realtor.com, and Homes.com will take that information from the MLS and put it on their sites. So it's kind of like they're taking the information, and then that's why you're able to see, properties as well online through Zillow and Realtor. After you have determined which properties you want to go look at, your agent will start setting up showings. And they will do that through the MLS as well, because there's going to be a showing manager on there where they'll go in and be able to see which times are available to see the home. So you can schedule that through your agent. And once you start looking at your properties, don't be afraid to ask questions while you're there. That's what your buyer's agent is there for. They're there to help you through the process. And hopefully you come to find your home and you want to put in an offer, which leads us to the next step, step 4. Today's video is brought to you by Mason Peak Mountain Properties. Mason Peak Mountain Properties is a locally owned real estate firm here in the lovely mountains of Franklin, North Carolina. Our experienced team of realtors currently serve buyers and sellers in Macon and Jackson County and the surrounding areas. We always hold client satisfaction as our highest priority, and we work hard to make the entire home buying or selling experience as productive and enjoyable as possible. If you would like more information, you can visit masonpeak.com, or you can contact us at 828-634-1615. We are also located at 341 Maple Street in Franklin, North Carolina, if you want to come visit us. Yay, you finally found your dream home and you're ready to put in an offer, which leads us to step 4, offer and negotiation. Your agent should advise you on what to put in the offer to purchase, OTP for short. The offer to purchase is a 16-page document, which I provided a sample copy here above. And for the sake of this video, we're not going to go over every single page, but we are going to go over the 6 main things that I believe are important, terms that I believe are important when submitting an offer. Number 1, purchase price. Number 2, earnest money. Number 3, due diligence money. Number 4, due diligence date. Number 5, settlement date. And number 6, seller pay closing costs. Now, it's important to note there are a lot of other really important terms in the offer to purchase, but these are the 6 main terms that you probably should be discussing with your real estate agent and asking for advice on. Okay, so purchase price is obviously what it stands for. That's the amount you're going to be offering for the home. The next two we're going to go over together, earnest money and due diligence money, which is a deposit that you give the seller to secure the property while the property is taken off of the market and under contract. First of all, it's very important to note that these two deposits are extremely different, and your agent should clearly tell you the differences when you're making the offer. Earnest money, which is called also good faith money, is a deposit that is put in a third-party escrow account. So it doesn't go to the seller, it is in a third-party escrow account with either the closing attorney, or if that real estate agent's firm that they work at has an escrow account, they'll put it in there. So it's held by someone outside during the transaction, when you are under contract. And let's say that you have inspections during your due diligence period and you find something that you really don't like and you want to cancel the contract. You can get that earnest money back. It is refundable up until the due diligence date. Now, after you surpass the due diligence date, it is not refundable. Now, on the other hand, due diligence money, your due diligence fee. Due diligence is non-refundable. So if you offer $5,000 due diligence, that money gets sent directly to the seller, and they get it instantly, and they put it in their bank account. That money's gone. That money is not refundable. You do not get it back unless the seller breaches the contract. It's very rare. I haven't seen it. I have not seen where the seller has breached the contract before. So you can almost expect, as a buyer, if you offer due diligence money, that money you will not see again. It's gone. Usually, in most cases, when you see due diligence money offered, it's a very strong indicator that that buyer is very serious about the property, and they're going to go through with it, and they're going to close on the home. Okay, so next is our due diligence date. If you're getting a loan, you do want to allow some time for your lender to do the underwriting, to be able to complete the loan and get what's called a clear to close. So your real estate agent and you should be asking your lender, how many days of due diligence should I put on the offer to be able to get the underwriting done and everything that we need to do with the loan. And then also, this is your time to do all of your inspections, and your real estate agent should be helping you order these inspections. We do have a form called professional disclosure. Here is its sample of that. And basically, you can sit down with your real estate agent and go through this checklist and decide which inspections you want to order. Your real estate agent should suggest that you get all of these inspections, any of them that are applicable, of course. Okay. Next is the settlement date. So that's the date that you're actually going to be signing your closing documents, your CDs or your HUDs, depending on whatever type of loan you're getting, and the deed and anything pertinent to the closing. And this is the day also, hopefully, that you'll get your keys, depending on what time you sign. So a lot of buyers and sellers are confused about when they will actually close. And usually if both the buyer and the seller sign, like, let's say Monday morning, it usually does close by Monday afternoon. But if you're signing Monday afternoon, it's probably not going to close till the next day, like Tuesday morning. So basically, that transfer does not legally happen until both the buyer and the seller sign, and then the attorneys, whoever's representing both of them, get it recorded at your local register of deeds. I probably should have went over this before settlement date, but seller pay closing costs. This is basically the seller offering a credit at closing to help the buyer with their closing costs. So if a buyer needs, if they don't have enough money in savings and they need some help with the closing costs, then they can make a higher offer and then ask the seller to bring some of the closing costs to help them pay off. Okay, I wanted to take a quick side note and go over dual agency. When you sign an exclusive buyer agency agreement with your buyer's agent, and say they're with ABC Realty Incorporated, there's going to be a checkbox in there that asks you, would you allow dual agency representation if it arises? And basically, if let's say Rebecca with ABC Realty Incorporated is in a contract with Steve, and Steve wants to see a listing that Josh in ABC Real Estate Incorporated has listed, then that would be considered a dual agency situation because they are both in the same firms. So if you're wanting to see a property that is listed by that same firm and you're working with a different agent, that is considered dual agency. And even if you want to see if your agent that you're working with has a listing that they want to show you that's theirs, that would be considered dual agent. Now, if you're in a dual agency situation, your agent has to be very neutral during the transaction. So if you ask them, you know, what should I make an offer or what should I counter at, they cannot suggest what you should make an offer or counter. Now, they can pull comps, which stands for comparables, and that's when they go into the MLS database and pull recent sales in the area that are the same type of house that you're looking at, and give you a list of these comparables and say, okay, here's a list of comparables, this is what they've sold for, now you decide what you want to make an offer. So I just wanted to touch on that because earlier I said that your agent should advise you on purchase price, but if you are in a dual agency situation, your agent cannot advise you on purchase price. After you and your agent have decided what you want to put in the offer, they will write up the offer with the supporting documents. For the sake of this video, we're just going to go over a couple of the supporting documents that you'll have to sign. Number one is the RPOAD's Residential Property and Owners Association Disclosure. That's a tongueful. Basically, that document is a document that the seller filled out when they met with their listing agent about facts on the property. Here is a sample copy of an RPOAD. And also, you're going to have to sign what's called a MOG, Mineral Oil and Gas Rights Disclosure. And this is just a document that's required in North Carolina to, state whether the mineral oil and gas rights have been severed or plan to be severed from the property. It's a standard form. And if the house was built 1978 and prior, you do have to fill out the LBPD, the lead-based paint disclosure. Here's a sample copy of that. And then there may be a couple of other supporting documents like your FHA addendum if you're getting a FHA loan, VA addendum, any type of addendum that there needs to be. Your agent will know which documents that need to be completed. So whatever ones they send you, you'll fill those out. And then they will take that whole package and they will send it to the listing agent to present to the seller your offer. So you've submitted your offer to the seller, and you're probably going to get back either four responses. I'm going to go over worst to best. So response number one is no response at all, which is the worst. The second response is going to be, they're not going to counter, but they're going to say, just make a better offer. We need a better offer than that. The third response will be, no, we're not going to take that offer, but we're countering back at this. So say you've made a offer of $400,000, the house was listed at $450,000, the seller comes back and says, no, we're not going to take $400,000, but we'll take $425,000. They can also counter back on terms. So they can counter back on a shorter due diligence date, shorter closing settlement date, ask for a higher deposit, either in earnest money or due diligence. There's all types of different things that you can negotiate and counter on. And then the last one, which is the one that you're hoping that you get, is an acceptance. So that's great. If the seller's accepted and they've signed all the documents, you and that seller are officially under contract for you to buy their home. So that's awesome. Okay, that leads us into step 5, which is our due diligence. Well, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching steps 3 and 4 of the home buying process in North Carolina. I know it was a lot of information, but I'm hoping that you learned something within this video today. Next week, I will be posting steps 5, 6, and 7, which will be going over due diligence, pre-closing duties, and then the actual closing. I hope y'all have a great productive work week, and I'll see you next week.